Hi, it's Jane with the Compassion Project, and today we are going to be playing a game of Cool to Connect Couple, and I'm excited because I have Wayne Lee and his beautiful wife, Nicole, here today, and it's going to be fun. They don't even know what they got into. It's going to be fun. So a little bit about this beautiful couple. Wayne is a friend of mine. I've known him for quite a long time now, actually. And he is a high performance coach. He's a motivational speaker, and he is an award-winning hypnotist. And he is the founder of the Transform brand, which is incredible. So Nicole is a speech pathologist. She's an author, and she is the operations director of the Transform brand. And they have been married for almost 14 years in May, and they have 2 children. Ivy is 12 and Ledger is 9. Oh, and they have their fur baby who's 14, Shazam, right?
Yes. You got her.
Very important. So I'm going to explain this game and then we'll play. But actually, first, I wonder if Nicole or Wayne would mind explaining or tell us how you met. I always love to hear how a couple met. Who wants to tell that?
I think Nicole's going to say.
How did you meet?
How we met at the Center for Spiritual Living here in Edmonton. So it was a Sunday morning that I came in and was meeting a girlfriend and slid into my seat and sat next to him. And I was going through a divorce at the time, so I wasn't looking to meet anybody, was drawn to him. How can you not be? And I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, well, who is that? And she said, that's Wayne Lee. And I'm like, who's Wayne Lee? And she said, a hypnotist. And I thought, any kind of drawn to him, I feel is, I don't need a hypnotist. That's trouble. And that was my initial, and then we were introduced after. You can give your perspective.
Yeah, no, it happened at the Center for Spiritual Living, and Nicole definitely caught my eye. You know, I'd seen her with her leather jacket and coming in. I was like, whoa, I haven't seen her before. And then I was just lucky enough to have her sit by me. And so that threw off my whole focus of the whole service that day. Sure. But then, you know, me being the hypnotist kind of scared Nicole. Was the last thing she was looking for, like, you know, another relationship. So
and it took him months. He was persistent.
I don't think. Period.
Yeah. You were persistent.
As a hypnotist, I don't take no for an answer.
Exactly. Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I was curious.
Yeah.
So amazing. Okay, so we're gonna play Cool to Connect Couple. I'm gonna explain what this is. These are the cards. There's 52 cards in a deck. So these cards were created by a beautiful girl named Dana Clark from Toronto, Ontario. She has a company called Heroic Humans. And after interviewing a lot of people, she realized that people are really lacking connection. And so she's making it cool to connect. And so these are thought-provoking, really interesting questions. So what we do is Wayne and Nicole are going to answer 3 surprise questions. They have no idea what they are, and I haven't pre-picked them, but I have to admit, Wayne, I kind of wanted to. I was like, oh, I wish I could pre-pick them. That's not really fair, right? So what I do is I'll shuffle them up, and we'll just start with one, and we can decide. You guys can decide who answers it first.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're ready. We're nervous. We're ready.
You're nervous? You don't get nervous. I'm nervous. You're not nervous.
Wayne's right into it. He's like, let's go. Okay, so I'm shuffling this up so people can see. And now you can pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
Okay, so I'm going to do the third one from the top. Okay, here we go. You ready? I love this because I don't have to answer it. I've answered them all.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know what it's like, but it's okay. First question. Ooh.
Oh.
What does that mean, Jane?
That's good. I think that's good. It's interesting. What lessons did you learn from your parents?
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And whether it's from your mom or your dad or both, or
I just saw the sparkle in Nicole's eye go on, so she wants to share that.
Do you want to go first?
Well, the things that come to my mind first and foremost is my mom for her whole life was there no matter what. Of course, that nurturing, that thing that comes very naturally to many women and moms.
Yeah.
She excels at that. And now taking care of my dad. I think, so taking care of others, but also she forgets to take care of herself sometimes. So I think what I've learned from her is to balance that, to nurture that in me, but also take care of me.
That's
and
so
my dad,
important.
He's a fighter. He's a fighter. There's so many times that people have told him, that's not possible for you. You're not going to walk. You're lots of different health issues going on for him. And he surpassed all that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So is your dad not well right now? You said your mom's taking care of him?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're at home and she's taking care of him and yeah, he's a fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, like a couple of years ago where there was a point where it was like we didn't even know if he was going to walk and so it's just he's kind of defied a lot of the odds. That
he's a fighter. He's very stubborn, which I got a bit of that and twisting it to use it the positive side of that as best I can.
I think that's a really good lesson, just because like from your mom and that too, that as women we do tend to take care of everyone all the time, right? We just have that, but you can't take care of someone if you don't take care of yourself. If you have to love yourself so you can really love other people. You have to fill yourself up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very good. How about you, Wayne?
That would be mine.
Yeah.
So you have three.
Yeah. Well, because I have my mom and dad and my stepdad who just passed on here in the fall. So there was lots of things. And what stands out right now in terms of what's coming to me is just the support. They had this immense support of whatever I wanted to do in life to follow my passion. So contrasting that, I hear a lot of people say, well, you have to do this, you have to go to school, you have to get a job. And one of the things that I fell in love with was the sport of wrestling. And both my mom and dad, even though my mom cringed at me wrestling because she thought I would hurt myself, which I did many times.
She didn't go to lots of
she's like, I can't watch it. But 100% support. Like there was just this support of follow what you want to do, Wayne. There was no constraints of you have to do this or have to do this. And I still remember, and they were two, very different people, my mom and dad, yet they both have this immense support in what I did. And now I look at the kids and I look at, say, Ledger, and I'm like, okay, Ledger, do you want to come wrestle with me? Do you want to, I'll show you. But I don't have this like, you have to do it. You have to go into this sport or this sport. And I think I got that from my parents in regards to support, like kind of knowing what that soul imprint of that kid is and just nurturing whatever that is. Because sometimes I think we do get our own head where it has to be a certain way in regards to do this or do this. And so that's one of the things I learned is support.
That's like
lending that to the kids that obviously we have. So
and the thing is, I think sometimes with parents we do, you want them to, if this is what I do, you hope they're going to follow in your footsteps. But like you say, you don't want to raise children, you want to nurture them. Like what are they good at? And as a parent, to be able to say, maybe your mom didn't like wrestling, I could see as a mom, but to nurture that, that's where your passion was, because don't we all want to live our passion? And I think it gets almost a bit snuffed down sometimes as children because we try to guide them the way we want them to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they spend the rest of their adult life trying to figure out what do I actually love doing?
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We joke with the kids, right? We've said to both of them, well, when you're, 18, someone has to take over the hypnosis show.
Somebody's going to take over the circus.
Yeah. I don't think either of them are interested.
But yeah. But at the same time, we see like these qualities, like you say, nurture their gifts and really listen to what they are in tune with, what they like, and bring that out, give them options. It's a balancing act. And
and I know as a mom, like when you're like, there is, and I'm very aware that the protective mechanism comes out, right? Because with his neck injury, And, you know, he went through some big time injuries wrestling. So, I mean, that always, but if Ledger loved it.
Supportive. Yeah. So that was the one thing that I got from both parents. And then from Nick, my stepdad, you know, he was very much business oriented and running a successful business in regards to the hotel. And he was very resilient. So, you know, when there was ups and downs and there was lots of downs, he stuck with it. So I learned that, to be resilient, to have this steadiness of focus.
Going onto the island and leaving that little.
Yeah. So when we got on to Vancouver Island, we lived in Northern Alberta at one time. Parents were divorced. My mom remarried Nick, my stepdad, and he had a hotel in Northern Alberta. And then when we all decided to go to Campbell River, and they were going to renovate a hotel and reinvest and live there, I'll never forget, we got to the island driving with a Jaguar and, you know, a high-end car. Yeah. And then we left the island in a station wagon.
Oh, really?
Because it was a time where the recession hit. They had some really challenging situations with the renovations and these mudslides. Anyhow, long story short, they lost everything. They lost the hotel, but did whatever they needed to do to get back on their feet. And that was a time where, say, my brother and I, like high school, I was in junior high. So we lived through that experience of like, it wasn't just a silver spoon. It's like we had seen them, you know, work hard, struggle, and bounce back, and, you know,
get going. Back up and keep going. Just that, yeah, like resilience, to never give up, keep going, moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. And I would say now, just looking at some of the other things, like with my dad, it was like, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. And,
so true.
You know, he lives his life on his terms, and he does things, and we don't always agree, like, you know, but it's like non-judgment, like just, he's just, you know, got a big heart. And my mom's got a big caring heart. Like, she just, you know, cares. And that's how she was with my brother and I. Like, that was number one for her, was us, at the detriment probably of not taking care of herself. I mean, typically I think that moms get into that, like Nicole has mentioned.
It's an interesting thing that we can.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be terrible if moms didn't have that in us? We'd be like, man, I'm just going to look after myself, forget the kids. We actually need it in our nature to
help kids survive.
Yeah. I mean, without that, it would be terrible, right? Because it's not easy raising children.
That's right.
So
it's so true. Yeah.
And I have that for my grandchildren. I mean, I really do. Grandchildren are amazing. You have different mindset, and I can just be so grateful in the moment for every little thing with my grandchildren, because I don't have to worry about all the other stuff.
Yes. I think that's the best. I can't wait.
And one last thing. Yeah. Okay. Kindness. I learned kindness from the parents. Like, they were always very kind and treating friends, family, employees, to the point where I know that they did things where they didn't have to do these things to take care of people, and they did it out of the kindness of their heart. So kindness.
See, I can see both of you. So you can see what you get from your parents, and then you pass it down, and your children are lucky.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate that.
All right, are you ready for the next question?
No. But go anyhow. You will have an answer.
Oh, this is a little simple one, but it's good. Describe your perfect day. I could describe mine. I've done it before, though.
Okay, I can go first.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think my perfect day would be with our immediate family, and I would get to spend one-on-one time with everybody in the family doing what they love and seeing them shine. So I know my daughter, I take her to, she's into design, and she loves hotels, and she loves, you know, and I love having those one-on-one moments with the kids where it's all about them. And leisure would be we'd go to what's the league, the soccer league that he watches?
Right, the FIFA, FIFA.
We would go to a FIFA soccer game in the afternoon, and I'd go with him. And then I'd be by the ocean somewhere I love the ocean, and there would be seals there because I love seals and whales. And then we would have wine by the ocean side and dinner together, sometime alone, and that would be the perfect day for me.
Aw,
Yeah.
I love it. Remember that, Wayne. She wants to have
Yes.
dinner by the ocean. You have to put that in the back of your mind now.
I won't have to. I'm going to come back to this recording, and I'm just going to, I can log what she
I
just
think
said.
you know
there.
that.
Yeah.
That's not too hard for you to remember.
Yeah. What's your perfect day, Wayne?
So my perfect day is waking up and just feeling great, knowing that I'm getting into my morning routine with working out, my rituals, gratitude, visualization, and then doing what I love, the creative aspect of creating my programs, my coaching, and then, spending time with Nicole, being free, not to, have to do anything, but doing it on our terms in the house here, and also wherever we want to be. So that's traveling, like on the coast, it's such a beautiful vibe. And that is one example of where our perfect day rests and how it plays out. Also connecting with clients, and then getting on a stage, performing my thing where I feel really alive, finishing it up, and then, the family, we get to be in a particular wonderful, maybe even it's a tropical location, and we get to just to finish our evening connecting. So yeah, it's pretty simple because it's not a stretch from what we're doing right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I actually love the question. It's a simple question, but when you really think about it, if you describe your perfect day, because even if someone said to you, you have one day left to live, what would you like your last day on earth to be? It actually is simple things. It's just being in the moment, like Nicole, being just one-on-one with Ivy, because you get you get the full attention, and you're present more when you've got everyone else around, and just one-on-one with Ledger, and you know what I mean? And then and I think when we realize that the simple things is really what a perfect day is, like same with me, Wayne, getting up, practicing gratitude. I love my morning routine because it's strong, and I'm always like, today's going to be a great day, and just have a positive day. And I always practice being present in the moment. Like today, let me be so present and enjoy every step I take in my day, even though it's, especially with the pandemic, it's more simple because we're staying home more. But sometimes I feel like that's just the perfect day. And it's just, like today, my grandchildren coming over with Amber and her husband Mauricio, and I'm like, we're just gonna have so much fun. I can't wait for them to come and just be.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, what you said there too, Jane, really is so important for people to hear, because a lot of times people think like it's not in their grasp. It's like something that's a big dream, but a dream is, the day is that when you're fully present, that's in and of itself what we're all looking for, is that connection. That
connection is big.
That whole aspect of where you don't have to be somewhere else to be fully connected. There's people that do these extravagant trips and they have a worse time, or they're not, because of just their perspective. So I think that's so important. Those simple things, like you say, make such a big difference, and people can just be in the moment and appreciate the now. And
it is 100%. That's where joy is. Like I was listening to Louise Hayes this morning. I always listen to things in the morning, YouTube, and she said that if you do not learn to be present in the moment where you are right now in your life, and you think that happiness and joy is, if I get that bigger house, or if I can just switch jobs, or if I can, whatever it is, if I can go on this trip to Mexico, if you think that's where the joy is, when you get there, it won't be, because you have not learned to live present, and you won't actually appreciate it. You will still want more. Yeah. So I thought, that's powerful, because it's all about the present moment, no matter where you are. I do know some people are really struggling, so it's not like you can throw that out there, where there are people that are in a really bad place. It's hard to be like, I'm enjoying the present moment if you're struggling, right? But if you're in a place where you can actually accept that I love where I am, but I'm working towards this, I want to be here, so that you can appreciate it when you get there.
Yeah, exactly. I think Jim Rohn said it really well, is that appreciate what you got or where you're at while accomplishing what you want.
Yeah. So good. Yes, I love Jim Rohn too. He's amazing.
Mhm.
So anyway, but yeah, it is the more simple things. On Saturdays in the pandemic, I started making scones on Saturday morning. Listen to this, Nicole. I make yesterday I made peach and raspberry scones.
Oh my.
And then yeah, so I'll get in the shower, I'll make the scones, and then Ed and I have coffee in bed with these scones, and it's just like absolute luxury. Look at the view. We have our little dog there, and our Nespresso, and I'm like, no, this is heaven. But that's after 2 days of looking after the grandchildren. So
Yeah, you've upped the baking now with.
Oh yeah, COVID was, well, I upped a lot of things. Like, you know, it was a time to indulge a bit for me. Like Miss Vicky chips are my thing. The salt and vinegar, I would eat like a bag. Like, I would get an individual serving, and I'd be like, "This is not a serving size for a human being. I need like the party pack size." Right? And then he'll bring them, like, I'm done with the Miss Vickies, and then he'll go to the store and bring them. And then but yeah, it's, you know, just been a little bit more flexible, a little bit more relaxed with what we treated ourselves and ate.
Which is good.
And appreciating those little things, like even us cooking meals and doing things, and that's a prime time to connect. Like, just take that time, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you enjoy it, so it's like.
We're getting off topic. But.
All right. Ready? Third question?
Ready for the third one.
Describe your proudest moment.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? Sometimes you have to really think. And actually, I've played the game, and then after, I'm like, ooh, I should have said this. I'm like, no, it's all good. But yeah. So you have to think about that. Decide who would like to answer that one first. It might have to be Wayne, because Nicole's like, proudest moment.
That's a good one, isn't it? Because it narrows it down to one, does it? Is it saying?
No. It doesn't have to be one. If you have a couple moments that you're really proud of, then I think you can share those.
Nicole, do you want to share? Go ahead.
I will go ahead. Nothing is coming in my mind.
Okay, I'll share one little one that I have, which I didn't share before. But I had a moment, and I don't know, maybe it's proud, but I'm just feeling proud of my family, my two daughters, when Amber gave birth to Kyla. And she had a cesarean, and we were all there right after together in the room, and just the feeling of love, and her husband Mauricio just accepting us into that room and having all this whole day with this new baby and our 6-year-old grandson, and my daughter Jenny was there from Australia, and the two daughters, just the love in that whole room. I just, as a mom, I felt so proud of that feeling in that room, that I've raised these beautiful daughters that care, and they're all loving, and and I felt really proud in that moment of just my family.
Right. That's beautiful.
It's not about me, it's about you. So your turn.
That was lovely.
You know, when the kids were born, like, if somebody says, is this, like, I don't know. I think I was scared at the time. It was like, there was lots of well, just like, you know, with
it
you.
Is overwhelming.
Like, just, it was overwhelming, I think.
Yeah.
But now when you mention that, Jane, what comes to mind is like, say when Ivy was at swimming, and I see her like light up. Like, that was just such a proud moment. And I remember getting the picture on Facebook and seeing it. And I was just like, it was just such a proud moment. So one with Ivy, one with Ledger and his soccer, and just exceed like that. And I guess I relate to that too, just because one of my personal moments was like when I excelled in wrestling and I won a world festival. That was very exciting and very a proud moment.
And proud of yourself for what you did to get there.
Yeah, it was the accumulation of all of that.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
And then lots of family things, like very much, you know, proud of family, Nicole, even like throughout the pandemic here in COVID, like I just so proud of say.
You're supposed to talk about yourself.
I know, but that I am proud.
It's okay.
I'm proud of who I have around me as a family in regards to Nicole, and seeing a side of her that, it's more connected in regards to what we're doing, and I feel really good about that. I don't know.
And it's an interesting question too, because being proud can come in so many different feelings and ways. You can be proud of yourself for something you've accomplished, proud of watching your children, proud of your husband for, like I look at my husband having retired and what he's gone through this year, and I feel proud of him for handling it so well. Like, there's so many. It's a question where there can be a lot of different answers, right?
Yeah. No, there's lots of different perspectives on it in regards to.
What about for yourself? Proud of yourself?
Yeah, like winning a world festival, I was just really proud. Like, and I can actually mark that in my passions. Like when I became a hypnotist and I ended up winning Entertainer of the Year. It was kind of almost like that wasn't the goal, but it was just like, oh, it's validation. And then
I thought of mine.
Okay, and Nicole's got her, so I'm going to let her speak.
Yeah, I love that though. It's.
And the last one is, I remember when I was, because for many years, Jane, like me doing what I'm doing, I have been seen as an entertainer, and then getting into the corporate market and doing a hybrid of entertainment with a message. A lot of times I was shot down, like, oh, that won't work. So it was getting to the point of getting on two stages actually, where it was a showcase, and then people going, wow, like that. I never thought it was going to be like that. So it was a proud moment of believing in myself, believing of what I was doing, and just sticking with it. And that was the end point of where it all came together.
That is something to be really proud of, because I think too many people will start to pursue something, especially if it's a little bit different, right? They pursue something that is in them and it's their dream, but then people question it, or you start to feel a little bit like, am I doing the right thing? But you stuck to it, and look at where you are now. So that
I stayed true to myself, and was in and of itself. That was just, I think it wasn't about the end part of it. It was just being proud that I stuck with it and where it went. And
amazing.
Yeah. So
okay, Nicole, what is your describe your proudest?
A family proud moment. Okay. And so this is 2 years ago when Wayne was inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. And so he was presented with an award. And it was was it the conference or the? Yeah,
it was basically the last award of the night, where it's a secret and it's being inducted into the Canadian.
He knew. And so he said, Nicole, why don't you come down to Vancouver? I'd like you to be there when I receive this. It's an honor. And I said, okay, absolutely. And then we're like, well, should we take the kids? And we thought, okay, that would be fun. And so it was fun because I went and bought them these cute little dressed up outfits. And I mean, they have some idea, like they've seen him on stage, and I'm like, he's getting an award and he's going to go up on the stage. But when they called his name and everybody in the room stood up and was giving him a standing ovation, like Ivy and Ledger were like, smiling, they were so excited and clapping that I don't think I've had that moment. It was just a really
proud.
Proud and excited, and there was just a sense of dad, and it was just really neat.
And you can feel it in your kids, right? Because they obviously were proud in that moment too.
Yeah. Even if they fully didn't understand what was happening, what he was getting, and exactly why, they just had this strong emotional response to that. It's so cute.
Yeah, now that you mention it, Nicole, like that stands out so much. And the fact that everyone, like that Nicole and the kids were there, it was just something I'll never forget in regards to that moment. It was just.
So Wayne, did you get that award as because of having done over 6,000 shows? Was it because of that?
That's part of it. It's part of it as being its expertise on stage, like actual running it as a business, and I think only 60 some people are inducted into the Hall of Fame so far. So it was a big deal in the sense of, in Canada, this is gets inducted by a board or a committee that
Or other speakers.
Other speakers. And there's a criteria that you have to have so many events that you've done and have it as a business, and then by peers and clients. So it's a fairly lengthy process and high standard getting it. So it was, yeah, it was really, it was a proud moment for sure. Yeah.
And well deserving, because you have worked so hard. I mean, over 6,000 shows, right?
Yeah, so, somewhere in there. I've lost count.
Yeah. Okay, well, see, it wasn't that bad, right? Those are pretty good questions.
Those are good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, Jane. Yeah.
So, but what we'll do, thank you guys for playing, because I love it. And I always learn something from people. So it's fun for me to bring a couple on. I'm like, oh, never thought of that. Or I learn things myself. But so I just want you to tell people right now what you're up to with that. You've got a new company, Transform, and you have something starting tomorrow. You might as well share it, and we'll put up the website. So it's exciting. Sure. Something you've developed during the pandemic, right?
Yeah. It's, because all the events were shut down, and they still are for the most part. So we switched online. Nicole played more of an active role just to, start helping create content and our coaching programs and our self-study course. And we have focused in on helping people wake up from the trance that stops them from living their best life. And there's a lot of people that are struggling right now, a lot of stress and overwhelm that people are experiencing. So we've created this 21-day challenge, and it's called the 21-day Subconscious Reset Challenge. And it helps people deal with a lot of the stress, a lot of the overwhelm, and also getting people to empower themselves so they can live their best life and achieve more of what they want despite the circumstances. We've had hundreds of people already go through it with incredible, wonderful results. So this is our fourth one. It starts tomorrow. And there's a lot of women that come on board. So
and men too.
Yeah, there's some, I'm just saying, like International Women's Day.
They
can come on board for tomorrow and start. And the cool thing is it's only 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So
only 10 minutes a day.
Only 10 minutes
only
a day.
10 minutes a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
And people are saying they love that. And, we're all busy, but they just pop in and they can watch it. If they can't get there live in the morning, they can watch it later in the day. And people were like, it's the most powerful 10 minutes of my day. It's easy to include and really, I think, fantastic results. People come for many different reasons about what they want to achieve.
So it's not, Wayne and Nicole, it's not necessarily for someone in business. It could be someone that could it be for someone who is, say, really struggling in the pandemic and they're more negative and down? Is it about transforming the way you think?
It is, and it's for transforming your life and business. We get people that are entrepreneurs, people that are struggling with their business right now, or they want to take it to the next level. Definitely for that. Yet people that are not, and they just need help during this time. So a lot of what's happening in their stress and overwhelm is created in the mind through their thinking, what their beliefs are. So we help people get back to who they are. Where one of the things I've said for years is that people aren't broken, nor do they need to be fixed. But what they need to do is fix their focus and their thoughts that are coming from all these faulty beliefs that they've picked up. So it's not about adding more strategies of like goal setting and grinding harder. It's actually about aligning. It's stopping the grind, getting aligned, so you let a lot of that go. And when people, like you say, when they're more present, when they're in their moment, when they're being who they really are, their true identity, that's when the magic happens.
Wow. Okay.
And also health. You didn't mention people come for health reasons.
Yeah, a lot of health
reasons too. Okay.
Whether we've had people come for weight loss. One woman's blood pressure went way down by being in the challenge. Yeah. Sleeping better, more energy. There's lots of different outcomes that people are getting.
It's holistic in nature, because once you take care of that subconscious level of all those beliefs and the negative noise, then it spills off in many different areas. They think they come for one reason, then it helps out their whole life.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible. Okay, so that starts tomorrow, and then I'm sure you'll have more after that too. But people can go to your website and check it out.
They can check out the details and sign up there for sure.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much. This was fun. Yeah, you two are amazing.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Jane, and always a pleasure.
Okay, we will sign off. Thanks everyone for watching, and definitely check out Wayne's website, because there's more things on your website than the challenge. They can join the challenge, but your website's it's really good. And
Yeah.
Wayne's amazing.
Thanks,
Well,
Jake.
NICOLE.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sign off. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.